and welcome to Introduction of Accounting 101. This video is going to serve as an orientation for how we're going to be using Blackboard throughout the semester. Part 2 of the orientation video is going to show you how we're going to be using a website called Cengage Now. So when you log into Blackboard, it's actually going to show you on the announcements page, and it will direct you to come to this Read Me First section to get started in the course. Under the announcements page, I will also post reminders about quizzes and tests, and every week I will send out a reminder that will tell you what is due that week. And this actually gets emailed to your NECC email address, so please make sure you're using your school-assigned email address throughout the semester because I will be posting a lot of reminders and announcements, and that's where it gets emailed to. So, under the Read Me First section, the first thing that you will see is a little bit of an overview of how we're going to be using Blackboard this semester. You will also find the links to these 2 orientation videos that will be available to you throughout the entire semester. So for Blackboard, we're going to be using it more as an administrative site throughout the semester. All of your homework assignments, your quizzes, and your exams are going to be done through that Cengage Now website that we'll be talking about in part 2 of the orientation video. For emails, please make sure that you email me using the email address that's provided to you in the syllabus. I have disabled the feature in Blackboard to email me through Blackboard because it actually doesn't go into my normal email box, and I like to get back to students as soon as possible. Under the Grades tab in Blackboard, which can be found right over here on the left-hand side, My Grades, that is where you'll find all of your actual grades for the semester. On Blackboard and Cengage Now, at times they will post either an overall grade or they'll tell you how many points you've earned out of the total. That is not your grade in the course. Your grade is calculated by the percentages that are shown in the syllabus. There are actually examples in the syllabus of how to calculate your grade. So if you're looking to see where you might stand in the course at any time, please refer to the syllabus in order to do that. Under the Resources tab, which again can be found right over here on the left-hand side, you will find some useful resources such as PowerPoint slides, templates that you can print out, and study guides that you can use throughout the semester. Under this Discussions link, you will find 2 discussion posts that are going to be available to you all semester. One is called Have a Question. The other is A Piece of Advice. So for the Have a Question, if you go to do your homework at 11 or 10 o'clock at night and you're getting stuck and you know I'm asleep and probably won't get back to you right away, you can post your question here. And one of your classmates who might be working on the same assignment might be able to answer that question for you. So if you have a question, you can go here and post it. Also make sure you still do email me in case someone doesn't respond to your question. I want to make sure you get a response to your question that you have. And if you're working and doing your homework late at night, check in on this Have a Question discussion post and maybe you can help out a fellow classmate. A Piece of Advice discussion post, this is where you can share your best piece of advice for the class with your classmates. So maybe you're using a certain study tool that you found very helpful. Maybe you've done some of the practice sets that helped you get a good grade on the exam. Whatever you might think is useful that your classmates could benefit from, you can post your piece of advice here. So you have 5 important tasks that you have to complete in order to get started in class. First, you're going to read through the syllabus that is posted below. You're then going to sign and date the Syllabus Agreement form and submit it to me. This is actually your first graded homework assignment in the course. You then want to read and print out the calendar, the homework schedule, and the quiz and test schedule that are all below. These have all the due dates and times for every assignment, quiz, and test that you'll have due throughout the semester. You're then going to introduce yourself to your classmates. And finally, you're going to click on the Cengage Now link here in Blackboard to get registered into the Cengage Now website that we're going to be using throughout the course. So here under the syllabus and course schedules, you will find our course syllabus. You will find a printable calendar that shows all the due dates and assignments that you have throughout the semester. You also have a detailed Cengage Now homework schedule that will show all the homework assignments that are due to you in Cengage Now. They'll show when they become available to you and when they're due. You also have a detailed test and quiz schedule that again shows you when the tests and quiz become available to you and when they're due. So we'll click on the syllabus and go through some of the key points first. So here at the top, you find all of my contact information, my office phone number, my email address, and again, please make sure you're using that email address to email me. I do have face-to-face office hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1:30 to 2:30, and I do have online office hours on Monday from 4 to 5. If you'd like to meet with me and for some reason those hours don't work for you, please get in touch with me, and if I can meet with you at another time, I'd be more than happy to do that. The textbook that we are going to be using is Accounting, the 26th edition, and a Cengage Now access code. This book is available to you at both campus bookstores, and it is a customized edition with only the chapters that you will need for Accounting 101 and 102. You'll be using the same textbook, and it is packaged with a Cengage Now access code. You can also just purchase the Cengage Now access code at the bookstore as well, and that Cengage Now access code will give you access to all of our course material, such as homework assignments, quizzes, and tests, and will give you full access to the ebook. Again, with emails, please make sure you're using your NECC email address to email me. I've had students in the past that have used their personal email, and when they've emailed it to me, our system kicks it into my spam folder because it thinks that it's a junk mail, and I don't see it. And I like to get back to my students as soon as possible. So please make sure you're using your NECC email address. I do read and respond to student emails Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. With respect to grading this semester, your homework and quizzes combined will count as 20% of your grade. And in a moment, I will talk a little bit more about how your homework is actually graded. The remaining 80% is going to be based on 4 exams. The lowest out of the 4 will only count as 15% of your grade. The highest of the 4 will count as 25%, and the remaining 2 tests will count for 20% each. And listed here are the test due dates for each one of those 4 tests. Late homework is not accepted, so please make sure you pay attention to both the due dates and times. And again, you have a calendar and a detailed schedule, and I email out weekly reminders of what is due that week, so there's no reason why you should get off track. Each assignment is a prerequisite for the next homework assignment. So if you've missed a homework assignment, you actually have to fully complete that homework assignment before the next assignment will become available to you. And I do mean you have to complete it. You can't just open the assignment and close it out, or open the assignment and enter in random numbers. The system will know then that you didn't actually complete it, and it will lock you out of going on to the next assignment. And if that happens, you then have to get in touch with me in order to get that missed assignment unlocked. I do realize, however, that life can get busy, and there's a possibility that you might miss a homework assignment. So this semester, each one of you is allowed to receive an extension on 1 homework assignment. This does not apply to tests or quizzes, just homework assignments. So if you would like an extension on a certain homework assignment, please just email me your request and which assignment you'd like the extension on. Makeup tests I generally do not give out of fairness to all the other students who are prepared to take the test on the scheduled date. If, however, you have a situation that is preventing you from taking the test by the due date and time, please get in touch with me as soon as possible, and I will consider a makeup exam for you. Do not wait days or weeks to get in touch with me for the makeup, because then it will be too late. This is a completely online course, so please make sure you're managing your time properly so that you're submitting all of your assignments, quizzes, and tests on time. I do understand that life can get busy with work and families, so please make sure that you have enough time to devote to this class this semester. On average, for every 3 credit course you're taking, you should be spending approximately 6 hours out of classroom time related to course-related work. With respect to that 20% of your grade that is based mainly on homework and on the 4 quizzes that you'll be having this semester, your homework is going to be graded based on 2 criteria. First, that all the problems that I have assigned are completed and submitted on time. And the second is that there's a true effort that has been put into solving each problem. Your homework assignment is not graded based on whether the answer is correct or not. So when you're doing your homework in Cengage Now, when you hit submit, Cengage Now will give you a grade based on what you've done correctly or incorrectly. So for example, if you spent 2 hours doing a homework assignment, you submit it through the Cengage Now website, and Cengage Now tells you you got a 40, that means that you're having some trouble, that you should get in touch with me to see me for extra help, go see one of the tutors, use some of the resources that are available to you on Cengage as study tools. But that doesn't mean that's your grade in the class. I go through everyone's homework assignments once the due date has passed, and I review everyone's homework assignment. And if you have answered every part of every question and have submitted your homework assignment on time and really put in an effort to solving every problem, I will give you 100% for that homework grade. So this homework grade, this 20% of your final grade, can either help you or hurt you in the end. And that is pretty much up to you if you want that grade to be an A or an F. So for example, I give you in this first situation your test grades. You've done okay. That would make your test average an 80 or a B minus. You didn't feel like doing your homework assignments throughout the semester, so your homework and quiz grade is only a 40. That drops you nearly 8 average points, and it drops you to a C minus, which means then you'd have to repeat this course before you can move on to Accounting 102. In situation 2, you have the same test grades, but you've done your work, you put in the effort throughout the entire semester, and your homework and quiz grade's a 95. That adds over 3 average points to your final grade, and it bumps you from a B minus to a B. Remember, these are average points. It's very hard to increase your overall average by more than 3 points. So this is doing a lot for you here. In situation 3, your test grades aren't as good. So your test average is only a 72, which means you have a C minus in the class. You'd have to repeat the course, but you put in the effort throughout the entire semester. Your homework and quiz average is 100. It adds nearly 6 points to your final grade, makes it a 77.85, which is a C plus, which means you don't have to repeat this course and you can move on. So as you can see, it can help you or it can hurt you, but that really is up to you. I do not offer any extra credit assignments in this course because I allocate such a large portion of your final grade to these homework assignments. And remember, with an online class, doing your homework assignments is really showing your participation in the course. So if you're not doing homework assignments for weeks on end, you would be considered a non-participating student and you can be withdrawn from the class because of that. So please keep that in mind. Your final grade will reflect what you've earned during the semester. This course, like many, is like learning a new language because there's so much new terminology and concepts that you've never heard in any other course before. So it does require a significant amount of time outside of just reading through the textbook and going through PowerPoint presentations and things like that. So each chapter builds on the material that was learned in the previous chapter. So if you are having trouble at the beginning of the course, please make sure you come to get some extra help, either with me or through one of our great tutors that are available free to you at the college, or through many of the online resources available in Cengage Now. You do need to receive a C or better in this course in order to move on to Accounting 102, and that's for all business and accounting majors. Back here in Blackboard, again, here you're going to find a printable calendar, which will show you all of the assignments that you have due and their due dates. You'll notice that you pretty much have 2 assignments due per week, typically on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You also have a detailed homework schedule for Cengage Now assignments that give you some reminders at the top, again, that every homework assignment is a prerequisite. I'll talk a little bit more about the video assignments, what I call a lecture assignment, but you do have to watch those fully. You do have the possibility of taking your homework assignments twice. You do not have to take them twice, but if you'd like some extra practice, you do have the ability to do that. If you want to take it for the second time, you do have to fully complete the assignment. You can't just pick and choose which questions you want to do for the second time. You do also have the ability in Cengage Now to save your work and come back to it at a later time and finish it. But if you have saved your work, please make sure that you still go back into Cengage Now and hit the submit button before the due date and time. Otherwise, you will not get credit for the assignment if you haven't actually submitted it to me. So here you will see every assignment name, when it becomes available to you, and when it is due. So you'll notice that the first two, one is called Intro to Cengage Now, the other is What is Accounting, is available to you starting today, which is the 17th, and is due on this Friday by the 22nd. All the other assignments become available to you on the first day of the semester, which is January 20th. So you do have the ability to get ahead in this course. However, remember, every assignment is a prerequisite for the next one, so you do have to do them in the order that's shown here. But you do have the ability to get ahead. If you know you have a busy work week coming up or family week coming up, you can get ahead in the course. You'll notice that some assignments, for example, Chapter 1 Lecture Assignment Part 1 and Chapter 1 Homework Assignment Part 1, are both due on the same day. Again, I will talk a little bit more about these lecture assignments in the Part 2 orientation video, but basically these lecture assignments are going to give you a little bit of that face-to-face instruction that you don't typically get with an online course. So you'll watch these videos, you'll hear a little bit of the terminology that will be being used, you'll see some examples, and then you'll practice that material in that homework assignment. And then you do have a detailed test and quiz schedule. Once you start a quiz or test, you do have to complete it, and you do have a time limit for each quiz and test. I have built in plenty of time so you don't have to feel rushed when you're doing your quizzes or your exams. On your quizzes only, you do have 2 tries, and the highest of the 2 attempts that you take will be used as your score towards the course. So once you take your first attempt, you can see immediately what your score is. You can also see what questions you got incorrect. For the questions that you got incorrect, you can then take the opportunity to go back through your notes, your homework assignment, the textbook, figure out what the correct answer should have been. You can then take the quiz again. You will not have the same exact questions that you had on the first attempt, but they will be similar. And now you'll be better prepared to answer those types of questions. So you have all of the availability dates and due dates for your tests and quizzes here. Once you've gone through all of this, you're going to come down here. You're going to click on this Syllabus Agreement document. You're going to type in your name and the date, and then you will upload it to me by clicking on this blue Syllabus Agreement form link. You will then come down here and click on this purple link to introduce yourself to the class by filling in the sentence, I am, with 10 different descriptors about yourself. And also please respond to at least 2 other classmates by Friday, January 29th. The last thing that you have to do here in Blackboard to get started is to click on this Cengage Now link. Here I tell you a little bit about what Cengage Now is and how to access it. So you will simply click on this link. It will ask you to log in. If you've ever used Cengage Now in any course, you can use your already established username and password. If you've never used Cengage Now before, you will create a new account. And then you'll have 3 options. You can either enter the access code that was purchased with the textbook that you purchased at the bookstore, or if you purchased an access code at the bookstore, you can enter that then. You can also purchase an access code to Cengage Now right through this link. So if you don't want to have to go to the bookstore, you don't have to. You can buy the Cengage Now access code directly through this link. Again, with the Cengage access code, it gives you full access to all course material and the ebook. If you're unsure if you'd like an ebook, or if you're waiting on your next paycheck, or you're waiting for a book voucher, you can still get registered in the class and start your assignments, because there's a free trial that is offered to you, and it lasts for 21 days. So everyone can get access in, even if you can't purchase the textbook right away. So that ends the first part of our orientation video. The second part of the orientation video will go into detail about Cengage Now and how we'll be using that.